Okay, everyone, I am hoping that this one goes through because my last video didn't have any sound. So we're going to hope that this works. So this is Unit 5, Concept 19 for child guidance. And this one is going to have a little bit of a discussion just because I find some students can have difficulty with this concept, mainly because it does somewhat challenge some behaviors of our own parents, caregivers, loved ones, things that we were asked to do as a child. I do just want to remind you that, or just have you think over, just because something was done when we were children doesn't make it maybe the correct thing to do, or there could be another way to do it. So this question asks us to discuss why we should not force children to apologize and instead work to support them in making amends. And in our textbook, it's on page 224, 8-6B talks about should we force children to apologize. And then Positive Focus 8.9 gives why ways children can work to make amends. So what does our book tell us? Well, what we often ask children to do is to be honest, to be truthful, to always tell us the truth. Well, we do that, but then we say, little Johnny, you hit little Susie because you were angry. You need to say you're sorry. Well, maybe little Johnny isn't sorry that he hit little Susie. He purposely did it, and he did it for his own reasoning. And it had, so saying you're sorry is not truthful, and then it just kind of becomes a I'm doing it to get out and move on and go on to the next thing. And there isn't a true meaning. It takes part of that meaning away from the I am sorry. Instead, we want to try to work children through a reflective process, in which case they may actually say I'm sorry at the end because they truly are I'm sorry, or else we can teach them that they need to make amends or they need to have logical consequences for their own wrongdoing. And so, for example, I had two little boys, Avery and Diego, and should Avery knock over Diego's um, um, castle as he's walking by, whether on purpose or on accident, instead of saying, Avery, you need to say sorry for knocking over Diego's castle, I'm going to say, Avery, you need to make amends for knocking over Diego's castle. Perhaps you can help him rebuild it. Now, Diego may say, I don't want his help. I don't want to play with blocks anymore. I'm mad. My castle fell down. Okay, Diego. Well, Avery, since he doesn't want to play with blocks anymore, he's upset. Why don't you go ahead and help him clean up those blocks? Because the reason they fell down was because you knocked them over. That's making amends. I'm not asking him to say he's sorry. Now, for some larger things, you may want to have them, especially for our older kiddos, have them go off and do some reflective practicing, in which case they are drawing a picture or writing a letter or saying something in other ways, and they may come to the conclusion that they are sorry because they're reflecting on their own behaviors and actually able to recognize what they did was wrong. So the big thing is that we want children to take responsibility for their actions, but we also don't want to teach them that just because we say, I'm sorry, it fixes everything and you can just walk away and be scot-free after saying you're sorry, right? Instead, you need to make those amends. You need to try to correct the wrong that was done. The other reason we always want to be cautious is that we don't want to get in the habit of well, you're just going to do it and you're just going to say it because I say you should say it, and then that's it, and you should do what adults say, right? So children have certain rights, and certainly we want them to do what we would like them to do. However, they should have the right to say, no, I'm not sorry. So not being sorry does not mean that you don't need to correct your behavior, right? But by allowing them certain rights, like the right to say, I'm not sorry, but I will make amends or I will attempt to correct my wrongdoing, we're giving them some power to be able to say no in other situations. So to be able to say no to an adult that's trying to tell them to do something that is not good for them, usually in an abusive situation to say no, you cannot touch me there just because you're an adult. I have the right to say no. And so it's the same thing is um, it takes discussion, it takes practice. And we do want them making amends, so we're not saying don't apologize or don't correct the behavior, but we're rather saying don't force children to apologize. So you cannot leave here until you say you're sorry. Well, maybe they're never going to be sorry. So even if they do choose to say it, then it's not really valuing the phrase I'm sorry. I think my headphones are about to die, so I am going to wrap it up there. Now, if you do not have to believe in every concept and every guidance technique that we bring forth. We are just demonstrating positive guidance techniques that have been developed and have been thought about. So you may certainly say the textbook says this reason, however, I still believe X, Y, Z, and for this reason, and defend yourself. That is fine with me as well. So you have the right to say that I think children should say they're sorry and just give your reasoning. However, you do need to say first the reason that our textbook says that they should not be forced to apologize. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.